Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Connecticut Department of Transportation Public Information Meeting for Project 15339, the rehabilitation of the Stratford Avenue Bridge, bridge number 02475, carrying Route 130 over the Pequonnock River in the city of Bridgeport. My name is Rosemary Rodriguez, and I am a project engineer with the Connecticut Department of Transportation. We would like to welcome everyone for taking the time to tune in and for participating in this meeting. We hope this presentation will be informative and will provide a clear understanding of the project. Before we proceed with the presentation and introduce the project team, I would like to mention a few housekeeping items and explain the format of this meeting. Our presentation will last approximately 15 minutes, and once it's completed, we will host a live questions and answers session. There will be three means of communication during the live Q&A session. You can either send an email, leave a voicemail, or if you're watching in Microsoft Teams, you can post your questions in the chat field to the right of your screen. The project email, phone, and chat will be screened by the project team during the Q&A session, and the questions received via any of these methods will be posted to the MS Teams Q&A chat window. We will read all the questions out loud for the project team to answer. You can ask any questions during the presentation. However, these will be answered during the live Q&A session. As previously mentioned, the three means of communication with the project team are via email. The email is dotproject015-0339@ct.gov. Once again, the email is dotproject015-0339@ct.gov, or by telephone at 860-944-1111, or by chat via the MS Teams live chat. In this format, you can ask a question by clicking on the question mark small icon, which will bring up your live event Q&A field. Next, select the Ask a Question button at the bottom right of the screen, and a field will pop up where the questions can be typed up. Your questions can be submitted by hitting Enter or the arrow button to send. You also have the option to submit your questions anonymously if you prefer, by checking the box at the bottom. There may be a slight delay in seeing your questions posted, but eventually your questions will appear in the feature section with all the other questions asked this evening. The project webpage link is also available where the recording of this entire presentation, including the Q&A session, will be stored. The webpage will also contain the same information previously mentioned on how to provide comments and ask questions. Also, please note that the comment period to ask questions and provide comments will be through December 3rd, 2020, via either email or telephone. The MS Teams chat option is only available during tonight's live Q&A session. No person shall, on a basis of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation or subject to discrimination in the development of this project. We would appreciate if you could fill out a general survey the department has prepared through SurveyMonkey. The results of this survey will help us improve these public meetings going forward. There is also a civil rights flyer available. The links to the survey and the civil rights flyer are located in the previously mentioned project webpage. And now I will pass on the presentation over to John Haggard, the project supervisor from the Connecticut Department of Transportation, who will introduce the project team.
Thank you, Rosemary. I'd like to start by introducing our audience to our Department of Transportation engineering team. Our Division Chief of Bridges is Bart Sweeney. Tim Fields is the Principal Engineer in charge of Bridge Consultant Design. I am John Haggard, the Bridge Project Manager. Rosemary Rodriguez is the Bridge Project Engineer. And Matt Giannakopoulos is the Rights of Way Coordinator. Assisting in the administration and coordination efforts for this project are our liaison staff from Close, Jensen, and Miller, The project supervisor is Mark Levesque, and the project engineer is Sal Cunho. Our designer for this project is the consulting engineering firm of Michael Baker International. The design engineers are Peter Wu and John McKenna. The bridge we are discussing tonight is located in the city of Bridgeport. It is identified by the bridge number in the center of your screen as bridge number 02475. You may know this bridge as the lift bridge on Route 130, Stratford Avenue, over the Pequonnock River. This bridge is located near the intersection of Water Street and Stratford Avenue. To the right of your screen, you can see where I-95 crosses Stratford Avenue. The project limits are also identified on this slide. The project work begins near Water Street on the left side of your screen and ends before I-95 as shown on the right side of your screen. The purpose of this project is to rehabilitate the Stratford Avenue Bridge over the Pequonnock River to ensure that the bridge continues to be safe and reliable for the traveling public. Here are some of our goals. The lift bridge has mechanical and electrical components that must be updated to ensure that they can be maintained so the bridge operates reliably. By adding a new control house, these upgrades may be performed with less disruption to vehicles, pedestrians, and marine traffic. Structural repairs will be performed to this 10-span bridge to maintain it in a state of good repair. Cleaning and painting the steel will help preserve it. The fenders in the water below the bridge protect the piers from impact by boats. These fenders will be replaced. Additionally, some improvements will be made to the roadway and sidewalks carried by the bridge. I would now like to introduce Mr. Peter Wu, one of the design engineers, who will present to you some history about the bridge, the condition of the bridge, and discuss the proposed work in greater detail. Peter?
Thank you, John. The photo at the left is the lift span with two towers to raise the bridge span for marine traffic. The photo on the right side, it is the east tower with a controlling house to operate the lift span. The lift span was built in 1975 and the superstructure was rehabilitated in 2007, which included the pavement and deck repair. The original date of the bridge construction is unknown. The mechanical and the electrical system of lift span have provided 45-year service. The bridge carries Route 130 or Stratford Avenue over Pequonnock River with 4 vehicle traffic lanes, 2 in each direction, eastbound and westbound. Sidewalks are provided on each side of the bridge. The total bridge length is about 525 feet, including 6-span pre-stressed concrete box beams, the multi-steel girder lift span, and its approach spans. Span 10 is a concrete slab beam. The total bridge width is 79 feet, but the curb width is 55 feet for the 4 travel lanes and the median. Based upon the 2018 traffic count data, the average daily traffic is 10,100 vehicles per day. Under the lift span is a navigation channel of 105 feet width, and the clearance to mean high water is 65 feet. That's when the lift span is in waste position for marine traffic. But the clearance will be only 8 feet when the lift span is in close position to marine traffic. This slide shows the bridge location span layout. The gray color is the bridge deck to be repaired. The light blue lines are the bridge deck joint locations to be replaced. The 2 bridge towers are shown in yellow color at Pier 4 and Pier 5. Sidewalks showing the light brown color are provided on bridge north and south side. And the control house is in green color. The existing condition slide include photos of existing bridge conditions of corrosion and deteriorations. In the left top and bottom corner photos, it is the typical conditions of the bridge steel girder with corrosion and deterioration. In the right top corner photo, it is a typical concrete beam and supported by an elastomeric bearing pads with concrete beam spalling and cracking. The elastic American bearings shows bulging, and some bearings was shifted with gaps under or above the pads. The bottom right corner photo is a closure pose of the end diaphragm at the piers with cracks, hollow areas, and exposed rebars. The lever span of the bridge condition is shown in these photos. The photo at the top left corner is a machinery break. The bottom left photo is the north anchorage pocket with water pondering and evidence of rust at the lift box girder. The photo of middle up is the timber fender system to protect the pier under the lift span, which are with moderate to heavy corrosion. Timber piles and bracing members have random splits, checks, and decay with section loss, and shows evidence of marine-borne activities. Timber handrails and the walkways planks of the fender system have a heavy rot and checking. The photo in the middle and the right is the current condition of the lift cables and the connections with some rust and corrosions. The roadway pavement experiencing cracks, moderate wearing, and depressed areas. In the left photo of the slide is a typical bridge deck, asphaltic block joints with cracks, depression with evidence of active leakage. The photo in the right and the center are typical sidewalks with deteriorations of random cracks and hollow areas, and the separation of sealant between the granite curb and the sidewalk. The proposed scope work for rehabilitation include the following items: concrete deck repair, the bridge deck joint replacement, the wearing surface removal and replacement, steel repair, including brass cleaning and repaint of steel structures, lift span steel elements. The mechanical and the electrical system of the lift span repair, upgrade, and replacement. At a new operating control house, replace the timber fender system, concrete repair to the approach superstructure and the substructure. The existing bridge rating is substandard, will be upgraded to meet the current ASHTO match standard. Besides the mentioned repair and the rehabilitation construction, the city has requested to consider additional complete street elements improvement, including add a pedestrian pier, overview platform with connection to the bridge sidewalk, add bike path on the bridge, and the ornamental lighting to improve pedestrian experiences. The department will take this request into consideration. This slide is a rendering of the lift span with added operating control house on the west tower. The existing controlling house on each tower will be converted and upgraded as a housing, emergency generator, and all storage. The rehabilitation construction will impact traffic for traveling vehicles, pedestrian, as well as marine traffic. Staged construction will be used. Traffic control will be accomplished with lane shifting and detour, such that to maintain the existing traffic during construction whenever possible. Emergency services like fire trucks, ambulance will be coordinated during the construction. Temporary traffic control during construction will also be coordinated with the city of Bridgeport. As shown in this slide is the bridge layout and the typical cross-section. Staged construction and the lane shift is feasible, and they can be used to maintain travel flow. We'll discuss them in the following slides, and now I invite Michael Biggers and John McKenna to discuss them. John, please.
Thank you, Peter. We are proposing a staged construction approach for the rehabilitation of Bridge 2475. Stage 1, which is currently shown, will limit construction activities to the southern half of the bridge. All traffic, including pedestrian, will be shifted to the north side. One lane of traffic will remain open in each direction, as well as the northern sidewalk, for the duration of Stage 1. The staging for Stage 2 will be the opposite of what is proposed in Stage 1. All traffic and pedestrians will be shifted to the southern half of the bridge, with construction activities occupying the northern half. Similar to Stage 1, one lane of traffic in each direction and the southern sidewalk will remain open for the duration of Stage 2. Stage 3 will require left lane closures for both directions of traffic on Stratford Ave. Construction will be limited to work within the median area. Both right lanes and sidewalks will be maintained for the duration of Stage 3. For certain construction activities, such as the installation of the new control house, fender system replacement, and lift span painting and testing, a short-term bridge closure will be needed for all vehicle and pedestrian traffic. During bridge closures, a traffic detour will be provided. The proposed traffic detour is approximately 1.5 miles long and takes about 6 minutes driving time. Beginning at the intersection of Water Street and Stratford Ave, it will head north on Water Street to East Washington Ave. Turning right on East Washington, it will head east to Noble Ave, where it will turn right. After heading south on Noble, it will turn left onto Crescent Avenue. Heading east on Crescent, it will stay to the right and continue onto Clarence Street until Cottage Street. It will then turn right on Cottage and head south until it returns to Stratford Ave. This detour route was selected because of the reduced vertical clearance when passing under the railroad. The underpass at Crescent Avenue that is used has a clearance of 15 feet, 5 inches, and will allow all traffic to pass. Marine traffic will be impacted by construction to the lift span and fender system. To minimize impacts, work will be limited to off-peak seasons, late fall to early spring. During replacement of the existing fender system, which is shown in the photos, the navigable channel width will be reduced from 105 feet to 70 feet. Certain construction activities, such as blast cleaning and painting of the lift span, will prevent raising of the lift span, resulting in a reduced vertical clearance for the bridge over the channel. All construction activities and channel closures will be coordinated with the U.S. Coast Guard prior to construction. It is not anticipated that the project will have significant environmental impacts, coordination, and/or permit applications with the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, Office of Long Island Sound Programs, United States Coast Guard, United States Army Corps of Engineers, and Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection Coastal and Marine Fisheries Division are anticipated. The existing bridge does not carry any private utilities, and no new utilities to be carried are proposed. However, coordination with utility companies will be required to add and modify utilities that are needed for the new control room. The proposed construction does not change the footprint of the existing bridge. As such, no permanent takings are needed. However, temporary easements will be necessary for staging areas and construction access to the river. Temporary construction easements will be obtained from the necessary property owners. Now I'll turn to Matt, ConnDOT right-of-way coordinator, to discuss the right-of-way policy.
My name is Matt Giannakopoulos, and I am a project coordinator with the department's Division of Rights of Way. It is our office's responsibility to acquire the property rights needed for transportation projects. The proposed project design requires the acquisition of property rights, so I'd like to give a brief overview of the department's right-of-way acquisition process. Please keep in mind, though, that the specific impacts are still being fine-tuned and may change as the design progresses. Any property rights that will be required will be acquired in accordance with Connecticut General Statutes Sections 13A-73 and 13A-98E. Whenever there is federal money used in any aspect of a project, the department must adhere to the Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970 as amended. Once the design has moved to the point where we are ready to begin the acquisition process, each affected property owner will receive a formal letter of intent to acquire from our office, along with a property map which depicts the exact property rights to be acquired. At that point, our office will determine the fair market value of those property rights and use that value to establish an offer of just compensation. That offer will be sent out to the property owner in writing, and a right-of-way agent will be available to meet with the property owner and explain the project, go over the specific impacts to their property, and explain the state's offer. The property owner will have a reasonable time, typically at least 30 days, to consider the state's offer and enter into negotiations. If an agreement is reached, the states will prepare all the necessary paperwork and record the deed and the property map on the town land records. However, if negotiations reach an impasse, in order to keep everything on schedule, the department may acquire the necessary property rights through its power of eminent domain. In that event, the state files a notice of condemnation in the Superior Court, along with a monetary deposit in the amount of the state's offer. The owner would have 6 months from that date to file an appeal if they felt that the state's offer was inadequate. Whether or not the owner chooses to appeal, the money that was deposited in the court is available to be withdrawn by the owner, subject to the discretion of the Superior Court. I know a lot of people, when they hear the phrase eminent domain, thinks that it means the state just takes their property for $1. However, the owners are entitled to at least the state's original offer of just compensation, and the state only takes title to the property rights that are needed for the project. If there are any questions regarding the department's right-of-way acquisition process, I'd be happy to address them once the presentation has concluded.
Thank you, Matt. I'm Peter of Michael Baker International as the design engineer. As shown in this slide, the project construction is scheduled to start September 2022, with design completed in April 2022. The anticipated construction duration for this project is about 2 construction seasons. For major construction activities in the list, most of them will occur in daytime, but construction for tower repair, lift span repair and painting, new control room construction could be conducted in nighttime. The total project construction cost is estimated as $26 million, and it is 100% state funded. Thank you for your time. Now I'll turn to Condor's project engineer, Rosemary Rodriguez.
This concludes the formal presentation portion of tonight's presentation. Thank you for your time and attention. At this point, I will pass it on to John McKenna, the project engineer from Baker International, who will be the moderator for the questions and answers session. Please note that we will remain live as long as questions are coming in.
Thank you, Rosemary, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight for this public involvement meeting over the rehabilitation of bridge number 2475 in Bridgeport. I'd like to just go over a few things before we jump into the Q&A session. First of all, the best way to send in any questions or comments you might have, you have 3 options. You have the project email, which is dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or you can give us a call at the project telephone, which is 860-944-1111. Or if you happen to be viewing us tonight on Microsoft Teams, you can use the Microsoft Teams live event chat to submit your question directly in. This presentation tonight and later on will be posted to the project website as well, and there you can find any additional information on the project. The project website is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport. 15-339. And as we'll be here all night to answer any questions that you have, but if you have any questions later on or in the coming days, the comment period is open through December 3rd using the project email or the project telephone. Again, that project email is dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, and the telephone number is 860-944-1111. So again, please send in any questions or comments you may have. We're here to answer them all night long. And again, that project email, that project telephone are the best way to reach us. Also, if you have some time later on tonight, we do have that survey open. We'd appreciate myself and the project team if you would take some time to fill it out so we can help with this project and future projects. So it looks like we have a couple questions in right now. So let's start with the first one. Will work on the lift bridge cause traffic to back up to the Water Street intersection and affect traffic on Water Street? I'd like to invite Peter Wu to answer this question from the design team.
Thank you, John. It's a good question. My name is Peter Wu, as Michael Baker International as a design engineer. Yes, as the presentation indicated, this rehabilitation construction will impact the traffic. The design team will conduct the traffic analysis at these locations and to optimize the traffic control scheme, including the signal timing adjustment at that location to mitigate the traffic impact of potential backup. Also, we understand pedestrian is part of the traffic too. So that will be part of the traffic analysis for final design of the traffic control. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Great question. Keep sending them in, everyone. Again, best way to reach us is either the project email, dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or you can give us a call at the project telephone number, which is 860-944-1111. Or if you're using the MS Teams live event chat, you can send it right in through the chat. Again, the comment period is going to be open through December 3rd. So if you have any questions that come up later on after this meeting or in the coming days, please send them in via email or telephone. We'll definitely get back to you. And this presentation will be available on the project webpage, which is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport 15-339. And for anybody who happened to be watching this public meeting tonight on YouTube, there are links to the project webpage and the survey in your description window, as well. The project email and the telephone number are also listed there. They are not links; you'll have to enter them separately, but if you can view them there as well. So it looks like we have a couple more questions outstanding. Let's get on to the next one. Why will this construction project take 2 years to finish, and why can't it go any faster? So for this one, I'd like to bring back Peter to address the construction schedule length.
Thank you, John. It's a good question again. Yes, Peter Wu of Michael Baker International Design Engineer. Yeah, this project is about a larger bridge. We have 10 spans and the lift spans. Also, the rehabilitation construction is not only just the pavement or deck repair, including some of the specialized construction items. For example, the lift span repair and also the add a new controlling room into the tower, mechanical and the electrical system repair and replacement. The whole structural steel, blasting, cleaning, and repainting, which need the enclosure called the contamination plan for that constructions. So, and also our design purpose is to try to minimize the traffic impact. So stage construction is like proposed, or stage construction is will take a little bit longer time than just like close the bridge towards the construction limit. Another factor is there's some limitations, like for example, the in-water construction can only happen in certain off-peak seasons. And that's basically from the 4 late fall to the early springs. So all this, we are trying to optimize the traffic impact from the construction activities. So basically, our best estimates with all that in considerations will be probably 2 construction seasons. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Another great question. And again, keep sending them in. We're here as long as you need us. Again, the best way to contact us is the project email at dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or on the project telephone, which is 860-944-1111. Or if you're using the MS Teams live event, you can use the MS Teams live event chat and send it directly into us. Again, if you have any questions after this live Q&A has ended or in the coming days, the comment period is open through December 3rd through the project email and telephone. So please send any outstanding questions into us and we'll definitely get back to you. Additional info as well as a copy of this presentation will be available on the project webpage, which is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport 15-339. And again, we at the project team ask if you have some free time later tonight or in the coming days to take some time to fill out that project survey to help us improve with this project and projects going forward. It would be much appreciated. So it looks like we got a couple more questions in. So next one up is, will pedestrians still be able to cross the bridge during construction? So I'll handle that one. We're currently proposing stage construction for the majority of the work. During stage construction, as we went over in the presentation and as you can now see on the screen, during stage 1, the north side sidewalk will be open for pedestrians, and then during stage 2, the southern sidewalk will be open. So during those stages, in stage 3, which would be the median work, both sidewalk are open. So pedestrians will be able to traverse the bridge during all those 3 stages, and it would just be walking. It'd be like walking through the city and next to a construction zone. So you'll definitely have access to cross throughout the construction. So again, keep sending in those questions, everyone. We're here as long as you need us. Again, the best ways to reach us are either the project email, dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or the project telephone, 860-944-1111. Or if you're using the MS Teams live event chat, you can just send it in right there. And again, this Q&A comment period is open through December 3rd. So if you have any questions that come up in the following days, feel free to send them in and we'll get a response back to you. And again, if you have some free time, it would be much appreciated if you use that survey link and fill out that project survey for us. It would definitely be much appreciated from myself and the project team. So it looks like we got another question. This one looks like it's similar to the previous, so it looks like I'll handle it again. So it's an email question. Will bicyclists still be able to cross the bridge during construction? So again, I'll handle that one. Speaking specifically to bicyclists, traffic lanes will be opened during all 3 stages that we had just shown that would allow bicyclists to cross the bridge. However, in terms of comfort while riding your bike across the bridge, obviously it's going to be a construction zone. There's going to be both directions of traffic. If your comfort level with riding in that situation isn't high, the sidewalks are open, so dismounting and walking your bike across the sidewalk during all 3 stages is a viable option, and you'll still be able to cross back and forth. Will there be some impact on your daily ride across the bridge due to construction? Yes, it might just be that instead of getting a nice smooth ride across, you just hop off and you walk through the construction zone to remount on the far side. But at all times, you will be able to traverse the bridge when the traffic lanes and sidewalks are open. So again, another great question. Keep sending them in, everyone. We're here for tonight as long as you need us. And again, the best ways to reach us are through the project email at dotproject 0015-0339 at ct.gov, or the project telephone 860-944-1111. Or if you're using Microsoft Teams, the Microsoft Teams live event chat, you can send those questions straight into us. This presentation and some additional info will be available on the project webpage, which is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport 15-339. And again, this comment period is open through December 3rd. So if anything comes up later on or in the coming days, feel free to send it in and we'll definitely get back to you. So let's see what other questions we have stacked up. Looks like we have one that came in. So when will the roadway impacts commence in the project schedule, specifically stage construction and potential closures/detours? So I'd like to invite John Hager from the DOT to answer that one.
Thank you, John. As John said, my name is John Hagert. I'm the project manager for Connecticut DOT. And this is a question that's a little tricky for us to answer at the preliminary design stage, but I'll do my best to give you the information that we have right now. The effect on the roadway will probably commence in the spring. The work on the roadway surface would want to begin, the contractor would want to begin that work when he can work continuously through and finish that work. So he'd probably want to start in the spring of 2023 in his stage construction scheme, where he's moving traffic from one side of the bridge to the other. And he'll work until he's complete in each of those stages. That work will also be coordinated with the many other tasks that he's doing on the project, some of which are below the bridge and some of which are above. So the contractor will have some flexibility to organize those activities as in an organized fashion for himself, something that makes sense for him and is very efficient. We will have contractual information that prevents him from working at certain times, and some of this will be coordinated with the city officials during the final design phase. So I'm sorry I don't have specific answers, because that'll be determined by the contractor during the construction event, but we will coordinate with the city and the emergency services personnel ahead of time. We'll give 30 days notice before the work begins, and we'll also let them know in advance what will happen and when it will happen based on the contractor's submitted schedule. And I just wanted to point out too, this is a 2-year project. It'll go through 2 construction seasons, and there'll be full seasons, so there'll be work going on at all times during this 2-year period. And it'll be done as efficiently as we can, so we can have the minimal disruption to the traveling public. So with that, I'd like to turn it back to John.
Thank you, John. Sorry about that. Great question. Keep sending them in. The best way to reach us is DOT Project 0015-0339 at ct.gov, or the project telephone 860-944-1111. Or if you're using MS Teams, the MS Teams live event chat, you'll send those questions right into us. Again, this comment period is open through December 3rd, so if any questions or comments come up later on, feel free to send them in, and we'll get responses back to you. And the project webpage is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport 15-339. So I just wanted to take a second to clarify a previous question, specifically about the pedestrians. There will be times during fender work where the lift span, and when we have the detour in place, where the bridge itself will be closed to traffic. So during those times, while there is a traffic detour in place, we do recognize that the pedestrian detour, which would be the same route, is a significant distance. We have we will be planning as part of final design and as part of construction an outreach program that will allow pedestrians who need a detour across the bridge, whether it be to get to work or for whatever reason that during that detour that it needs to be crossed, that there'll be a route, whether it be through a route for pedestrians utilizing a van, which would or some other way of a ride share, something in terms of a pre-alert that would be set up through construction and the DOT that would help pedestrians in that scenario. So again, keep sending in any other questions. Again, the project email is dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or the project telephone 860-944-1111, or through the MS Teams live event chat. And again, that project webpage is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport 15-339. And if you have a few minutes later on tonight or in the coming days, it'd be much appreciated if you took some time to fill out that project survey. It would be much appreciated from myself and the project team to help us improve with this project and future projects. So it looks like we got a couple more questions that are stacked up. So let's get to the next one. How noisy will this work be, and how will you try to control the noise? So I'd like to invite John Haggard again to take a crack at this one.
Thank you, John. John Haggard from Connecticut DOT, project manager. The project is a construction project, and it does have some significant work in it. The work will be noisy, but the good news is our contract will have limitations on the noise that the contractor will have to abide by. He'll have probably some noise with compressors and blast cleaning of steel and jackhammering and such type noises, but the level of those noises is controlled by the contract, and the department will use equipment to monitor the noise levels and let the contractor know if he's in compliance or not with the restrictions that we put in the contract. And he's bound to comply with these provisions.
Thanks, John, for that response, and a great question. So any more questions are out there, we're here as long as you need us tonight. Again, the best ways to reach us are the email, telephone, or chat. Again, that project email is dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, and that project telephone is 860-944-1111. Or on the MS Teams live event chat, you can send that straight into us. If any additional questions come up after this is ended or in the coming days, the comment period is open through December 3rd. So keep sending any other questions or comments in through that project email or telephone, and we'll get a response back to you. Additional project info and a copy of this presentation will be available on the project webpage, which is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport 15-339. So again, keep sending any questions you might have in, and we'll make sure we get to them. And then, so it looks like we got a couple more stacked up. So let's get to the next one. Are there any specific reasons to add a control house on the west tower to replace the one on the east tower? So I'd like to invite Peter Wu from the design team to take a crack at this one.
Thank you, John. Good question. I'm Peter Wu of Michael Baker International, the design engineer. Like you see this rendering on the slide. So the existing tower only have one controlling house, which is on the east tower. Oh, it could happen sometimes if there's any like disruption could happen when we need to operate this lift bridge. If anything happens to the mechanical electric system. So now the design will add another one on the west tower. So, but the existing one will be converted as like a backup emergency generator emergency and the storage room. So that way we can avoid the lift span operation disruption. Another benefit for that one is because during the construction, when we replace the existing one and install the new ones, so we can still operate this lift span and at the construction happening for this power portion. That's basically the major reasons for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Great question, and keep sending them in, folks. Again, we're here as long as you need us tonight. If you have any additional questions after we finish up tonight, the comment period is open through December 3rd, and the best ways to reach us are through the project email, which is dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or the project telephone 860-944-1111. And during this live event, the MS Teams live event chat, you can post any questions you have there, and it'll go straight into us, and we'll get to them. Again, a copy of this presentation and additional project info will be available on the project webpage, which is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport 15-339. And again, just to reiterate, this comment period is open through the 3rd, so don't feel rushed to try to get stuff in tonight. If you have any questions that pop up in the coming days, feel free to send them in and we'll get a response back to you. And again, if you have a couple moments later on tonight or in the coming days, if you would take the time to fill out that brief survey, it would be much appreciated from myself and the project team to help us improve on these presentations in the future. So again, any questions that are outstanding, keep sending them in. Again, that project email is dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or the project telephone is 860-944-1111. And the MS Teams live event chat is open as long as we're here, so you can just send those straight in. Or the project webpage. We'll have additional info and a copy of this presentation available later on. And that webpage is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport 15-339. And again, this comment period is open through December 3rd. So again, if you have any additional info or additional questions, please send them in via that email or telephone, and we'll get to them. So it looks like we have a couple more questions that have come in, and so let's get on to those. So how and when would the public be notified on the start of construction? I'd like to invite Peter Wu to take a crack at this one.
A good question. I think your question is asking when you will now have the notice for the construction, how they impact your traffic. Yeah, after the contract is awarded to contractor, the contractor will submit the kind of construction schedules, and the notice will be sent out to the cities and coordinate them all to publish, and for the construction will be started. That's will be coordinated with the cities too, and through the media to let them know the traffic impact, including the detour and the closure.
Thanks, Peter, for that response. And again, great question. Keep sending them in, folks. We're here as long as you need us tonight. Again, the best ways to reach us are either the email, the telephone, or the MS Teams live event chat. That project email is dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or the project telephone is 860-944-1111. Or again, just send a question straight into us through the MS Teams live event chat. Again, this comment period is open through December 3rd via email and telephone. So if you have any additional questions in the coming days, feel free to send them in and we'll get back to you. And we'll have additional info and a copy of this presentation will be posted to the project webpage, which is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport 15-339. And if you have a few moments later on tonight, it'd be much appreciated if you take the time to fill out that project survey for us. So it looks like we got another question for us. What outreach have you done with the local maritime community? I'd like to invite John Hagert from the DOT to take a crack at this one.
Thank you, John. The outreach to the local maritime community is typically conducted through the harbor master. We've already begun outreach through the U.S. Coast Guard, and tonight's public information meeting is another outreach to the local maritime community as well. We will continue to coordinate with the harbor master throughout the project and into construction as well. We work with the harbor master to distribute flyers and disseminate information to the local mariners. We have already begun to obtain the logs for bridge openings and closings, and we want to make sure that the work is done at times of the year when maritime traffic is not at its peak. John?
Thank you, John. Great question. Keep sending them in. Again, we're here as long as you need us. The best way to reach us again is the project email at dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov or the project telephone 860-944-1111 or through the MS Teams live event chat. You can send questions straight into us. Again, this comment period is open through December 3rd. For the email and telephone. So if any additional questions come up in the coming days, feel free to send them in and we'll get responses back to you. And again, if you could take a couple moments later on tonight or in the coming days to take that brief survey for us, it would be much appreciated from myself and the project team to help us improve in future presentations. So it looks like we got another question in. During times when the detour is going on, how will pedestrian traffic be accommodated? I know we touched on this a little bit earlier, but I know I wasn't very clear. So I'm gonna invite John Hagert in to clarify on exactly how the pedestrian detour and how we would accommodate pedestrian traffic would be handled.
Thank you, John. This is John Hagert. Pedestrian traffic is typically going to be handled through a contract with our contractor for some kind of a service that would be essentially on demand during the periods of time when traffic and pedestrian traffic is not allowed across the bridge. Those times will be when the lift bridge is in an open position for other work, and it'll be for relatively short periods of time. But the contractor will coordinate with a transportation agency to provide service from one side of the bridge to another to provide transportation, because that 1.5 mile detour is pretty long for pedestrians to walk. But we will provide notice via signs, and we'll publish how you can obtain this service ahead of time, so people can plan how they're going to get to work or wherever it is that they're going across the bridge. John?
Thank you, John. Great question. Keep sending them in, folks. Looks like we got a voicemail question that's just popped in, so keep sending in your questions. We're here as long as you need us tonight. Again, the best way to reach us is through the project email, dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or through the project telephone. You can leave us a voicemail at 860-944-1111, or through the MS Teams live event chat. You can send a question straight into us. Again, additional info and a copy of this presentation will be available on the project webpage, which is portal.ct.gov/DOT Bridgeport 15-339. And again, if any additional questions come up after this meeting tonight or in the coming days, the comment period is open through December 3rd, so please send any questions or comments in via email and telephone, and we'll get back to you on those. So let's get to that voicemail question. In the presentation, you mentioned AASHTO MASH standard requirements. Could you please provide clarification on what that is? So I'd like to invite John Hagert again from the DOT to help clarify what AASHTO MASH is.
Thank you, John. I think we all get a little tired of all these acronyms, but I'll try to explain it briefly. The acronym AASHTO stands for the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, and they get together and perform crash tests and develop standards for safety of highway systems, such as railings and impact attenuators and such. For this project, we are upgrading our roadway features as required to meet the new AASHTO MASH standards for safety. On this bridge, the primary locations for safety are at the leading ends of the bridge at the cables, the lift cables, where there's a barrier protecting those cables. But that barrier provides a potential safety hazard for vehicles. So we'll be using new MASH tested impact attenuation systems to protect those blunt ends. There may be a couple of other locations where we have some blunt ends too, so we'll be investigating those during the final design phase to see what kind of treatment might be appropriate to protect those blunt ends as well. The railing that you see there also needs to be looked at as well to make sure that it is compliant with the new safety standards as well. John?
Thanks, John, for that response. And again, great question. So if there's any more questions out there tonight, feel free to keep sending them in. We're here for as long as you need us. Again, the best way to reach us are your three options are the project email, which is dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or the project telephone, which is 860-944-1111. Or through the MS Teams live event chat. You can send a question straight into us while we're here tonight. Again, this comment period is open through December 3rd, so if something pops in either later on tonight or in the coming days, feel free to send us an email or leave us a voicemail through the project email and project telephone, and we'll get back to you with a response. And again, this presentation, as well as some additional project information, will be available on the project webpage, which is portal.ct.gov/DOT-Bridgeport. 15-339. And again, if you have a few moments later on tonight or in the coming days and have some time to take a brief survey, it'd be much appreciated from myself and the project team if you would take the time to help us improve these presentations for this project and future projects. And again, the best way to reach us either tonight or while the comment period is open is that project email at dotproject0015-0339@ct.gov, or the project telephone, which is 860-944-1111. And while we're here tonight, you can always use that MS Teams live event chat to send a question on in. So it doesn't look like we have any more questions out there. So if anybody has any last ones they want to send in, again, we're here as long as you need us, but not seeing any questions out there. I think we're going to wrap this up for tonight. And I'd like to thank everybody who took the time this evening to watch this presentation and listen to us and sending in some great questions. It's much appreciated. And again, thank you for taking the time tonight to go over this project, which is the rehabilitation of bridge number 2475. Thank you. Have a great night.